done. I'm leaving. I'm not doing bedside nursing anymore. I don't even know if I want to be a nurse, so I am going to leave. Peace out, deuces, bye. I don't like bedside nursing. Just kidding. Just kidding. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is BB, and if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're back for another video, then welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about bedside nursing. And as you can tell by the title of the video, I hate bedside nursing. Believe it or not, a lot of people do not like bedside nursing for a multitude of different reasons. And within the past year, the way healthcare has been and the stress that nurses have been under, a lot of nurses are just like, I'm done. I'm legit done. I'm leaving. I'm not doing bedside nursing anymore. I don't even know if I want to be a nurse, so I am going to leave. But guess what? It really doesn't have to be that dramatic. It really doesn't. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons that people just are over bedside nursing, some of the issues that you may be facing at your job, and I'm also going to give you some practical solutions that may help you handle it a little bit better, because at the end of the day, not everybody is in the position to leave bedside nursing, and some people have families, you have responsibilities, you are just trying to get your foot in the door. There may not be other opportunities in the area that you live in. So it's kind of like, okay, well, if I'm gonna do bedside nursing, then I might as well just make the best of it. If you guys wanna hear what you can do to kind of help you get through this bedside nursing thing, if you're just kind of like over it, then keep on watching the video. All right, so the best advice that I can give you if you feel like you are over bedside nursing is to identify your trigger. As a travel nurse, I have been to so many different hospitals. I think I'm like on my 15th or 16th assignment. I kind of lost count. And a lot of times when I see nurses that are burned out and they're just like, I'm over bedside nursing, a lot of times that comes from the fact that they are just over like one specific thing. So is that specific thing that you're over the call light? Is the specific thing that you're just over your coworkers, your charge nurse, leadership, the hospital itself, the policies, the unit? Identify what your trigger is, because a lot of times changing your environment, changing what that issue is that you're having in the workplace may make your job 10 times easier. Have you ever worked in a hospital, or do you currently work in a hospital where there's like a unit where everybody seems to be happy, and then in your head you're like, bro, do we work at the same hospital? Why is everybody in the ED always in such a chipper mood when they send patients up? Why is everybody in the ICU always so chill, relaxed, unbothered? I used to work on a trauma neuro floor, and one of my triggers, believe it or not, at that time, and I did it for 2 years, was that on my floor most of the time our patients, how do I say this politically correct, a lot of times we were engaging in pain management. 6 patients with Dilaudid Q3 and Oxy Q4 and Roboxin and Neurontin. Did I say there were 5 and 6 patients that are in acute pain from accidents and they're my age? Yeah, that demographic is very stressful. That can be what your trigger is. That might be what the issue is. So that's why I'm saying the first thing that you should do is find out what your trigger is. If your trigger is the fact that patients are able to talk, that's not my trigger. I love talking to my patients, but there are some nurses out there, the fact that their patients are able to talk and hit call lights is their trigger. So guess what they did? They went to ICU, and it's not that they're bad nurses, it's not that they're annoyed by patients that can talk, but it's the fact that the way that their mind works, the way their personality is, they would rather just focus on 2 patients. They're more like scientific thinkers, but maybe that's what your trigger is. So like I said, the first thing that I would do is probably identify my trigger and see what the issue is on your floor at your job that is causing you to feel the way that you are feeling. Really look at your hours and see how many hours you are working, and if this is why you are feeling the way that you feel, why you are feeling burnt out. Also, look at the way that you are scheduling yourself. You may think that working 3 days in a row is great because then you have 4 or 5 days off, and then you have all your days in a row, and you have the same patients for 3 days. But guess what? maybe working 3 days is not for you. I have worked with nurses where day 1, they're cool. By day 2, the end of the shift, they're just like, and then by day 3, they're just like, ah! I know that was a little dramatic, but by day 3, they're just like impossible to work with. That was very dramatic. But maybe 3 days a week is just not for you. And also just having the same patients for 3 days in a row may just not be for you. Because we all know somebody can start doing this and it may not bother you for the first few minutes. But if somebody does this for 3 nights in a row, you're gonna get pretty bothered. So kind of just think about that. Even though 3 days in a row might be nice because you get all those days off, maybe it is just not for you, and that is just something that you need to do. Split up your days, do every other day, do 2 days and then do another 2 days, and then just spread out your days a little bit more. Become a nurse's leader. Now I know this is one of those things where you're kind of like, become a nurse's leader, become a charge nurse. Okay, let's really think about this, guys. You do notice that a lot of nurses, after being at Bedside for a while, they want to be charge nurses. And even though charge nursing and being a leader does have its own type of stress, it is in its own way a little bit easier than doing direct bedside nursing. You don't have that patient load that you are responsible for, those 6-7 patients. Also, look at your strength. Maybe your strength is that you're a problem solver. You're a critical thinker. You get joy out of being that person when somebody comes up to you, a new nurse, and they're like, can you help me with this? Like, you're just like, yes, I can. Yes, I love helping. Like, maybe that's like what brings you joy. Like, you like teaching new nurses how to put in IVs, and then you like creating assignments and doing the board. Like, that's your thing. But direct bedside nursing, no, not your thing. Maybe that might be what you need to do to kind of make it a little bit easier on you at work. Change your shift. So this is one of those things that maybe you didn't think about, but working day shift and night shift are like night and day. Night and day shift, night shift. But believe it or not, it is very different. And there are some nurses that are night shift people, and then there's day shift nurses. And maybe the shift that you are working right now is just not for you. You're a new nurse, you start working at the hospital, the only shift they had available was night shift, and you were so desperate for a job, you're like, whatever, I'll take anything. And you're just not a night shift person. You're missing your hubby, you're missing your kids, you're not able to go to functions on the weekends because you're having to work, and that's causing you stress. And now when you come to work, you're mad because you haven't seen your husband in 3 days and you haven't been able to help your kids with their homework. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe day shift is just too much. I'm just gonna speak for myself. I am not a day shift person. I was on a day shift assignment, and let me tell you right now, every day I came home wanting to quit nursing. And it was too much. It's like, it doesn't end. You think you completed an order, you refresh the page, and then another order puts in. Like, day shift is a whole nother beast. Plus the meals, plus everything else. But guess what? There's people out there who love day shift. They get to go home at 7 o'clock with their families. Their sleep pattern isn't off. They're morning people. Like, I'm telling you right now, sometimes by switching your shift, going from days to nights or nights to days, will help you make bedside nursing that much more manageable for you. Switch specialties within your hospital. So you may not be ready to quit the hospital. That reason may be because there are not a lot of job opportunities in your area. That hospital that you're working at right now pays the most in your area. You just don't like the people on your floor. That might be the reason why you are not liking bedside nursing. Your charge nurse is not a resource. Your coworkers don't help you out. The CNAs on your floor are not really working with you together. Switch specialties. There are people, like I said in the beginning of this video, who may be ICU nurses. Like, they like working with 1 or 2 patients, and they like to sit there and document, and they're just very tedious thinkers. That's one of the things I've noticed about ICU nurses. They're very like detail oriented. That's the word. They're very detail oriented. Every IV has to be labeled. Every order has to be like, you know, everything needs to be like perfect. And they find that when they were working like med surg or tele, or when they have more than 4 or 5 patients, it's just too much because they want to know everything about their patient. Now, there's those ED nurses that are just like, listen, it doesn't matter that there's no date on the IV line, okay? Like they're fast. They want to get things done. They want to just get patients up, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's their personality. That's what they enjoy. They love that fast pace and the interacting with the doctors and the rush and the codes and the new patients. And then before they could even build a relationship, the patient is back on the floor. Like they like that. That is their thing. So find out, maybe it's just not nursing that's the issue. It's your unit, it's your specialty. That's what the issue is. And maybe you haven't found what your specialty is. Maybe right now you're on a tele floor and you're like, I'm not really enjoying tele right now. Like, but I don't know if I want to do ICU. I don't know if I want to do ED. I don't know if I want to go to the OR. Hey, just go somewhere else. Become a float nurse in your hospital. That's what I did. When I first started as a nurse, I was on a trauma neuro floor, and at the time I didn't really love it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. And I became a float nurse. And every day, and I know some people probably like, yo, that would cause me some like legit anxiety coming into work and working a different unit every single day. But I love it. And I think that's like a precursor of how I probably got into travel nursing. That's how I should have known this when I could have did travel nursing, because I love coming into work and being like, oh, today I'm gonna do cardiac. Oh my God, today I'm gonna do ED. Oh, today I'm gonna be in the ICU. Like, I love that. And I felt like every day I was learning something different. It was keeping me on my toes. I was meeting so many different people and building relationships. And if a patient bothered me or we didn't get along, the next day I'll be on a whole nother floor and I never had to see them again. So that to me made my job that much easier. So that's just something maybe you might want to look into, just maybe a solution if you're feeling burned out. It might just be the fact that your floor is just not, it ain't for you. It's just not for you. Take a leave of absence and do like a vaccine assignment or a travel assignment. I know that's like really specific, but taking a leave of absence will give you a break from your job, but still allows you to have that window to return, because not everybody is ready to quit their job, quit their benefits, and just leave the hospital. So by taking a leave of absence, that gives you a break to kind of venture out, clear your head, and see, sometimes you just need a break. A lot of nurses right now have been taking a break from the hospital and doing vaccine contracts. So we all know that, you know, everybody's getting their vaccine right now with everything that's going on in the world. So a lot of nurses literally sit in an office or sit in a church or sit in a drive-through and they just give shots all day long. Could you imagine that? For somebody who has been used to working with 6-7 patients on a day shift, on a med surg floor with discharges and admissions all day and families and meals and residents and orders, like, and then now your only responsibility is to fill out the little card and give people vaccines all day. That is like heaven on earth for some people. So that is just something you may want to look into. Do that for a month. Give yourself a break. Oh my goodness, you deserve it. Especially if you've been working the past year in healthcare, you deserve a break to go just do vaccines all day. I mean, let's all not do a max exodus and leave the hospital to go do vaccine contracts, but all I'm saying is it is an option. Travel assignment. Take on a travel assignment, especially right now with everything going on in the world. I'll keep that part brief. There's a lot of travel assignments out there that are 4 to 6 weeks. I've actually known a couple nurses that have taken leave of absences, gone to California, did 4 to 6 weeks, basically give them a break from their hospital, and now they're right back. And that's what they needed, just to kind of give them a break, not from bedside nursing, but a break from that hospital. So that's just something you may want to think about. Change your hours from 8 to 12 or from 12 to 8. Believe it or not all bedside nursing is 12-hour shifts. Some bedside nursing is 8 hours. When I worked in a long-term care facility, which technically is still bedside nursing because you're doing direct patient care, well, not me, because I was the assistant director of nursing, but our shifts there were 8-hour shifts. So 7 to 3 through 11, 11 to 7. And let me tell you, I work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday as a manager. And if I had to do that, working 5 days a week, and it was the first time I've ever worked 5 days a week in my entire life, I would die. I legit felt like I was living to work instead of working to live. Or is it the other way around? Y'all know what I mean. Coming from a hospital where I would just work for 3 days and then have 4 or 5 days to do my YouTube, do my photography, hang out with my friends, go on vacation, and now all of a sudden I'm working 5 days a week and only 2 days to recover was just too much. It was too much. I was burned out. On the flip side, there are people out there who working 12 hours is too much for them. Being on their feet and working from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night is exhausting to the point that they're just like over it. And if they had a job where they can work from 7 to 3 and go home at 3 o'clock and be with their families and see their husbands, cook dinner, go to the park, see some sun outside, like that would make their job that much bearable. So that is just something you may want to look into. Maybe the issue is that you just cannot do 12s, or working 8s just feel like you are at work every single day. And if you had 4 or 5 days off every couple of weeks, that would make your job bearable. Look into that. Last but not least, the pay. One of those things that we don't really like to talk about, but believe it or not, what you're getting paid makes a difference in how you may feel about your job. Not all the time, because I've always had this theory that people who care about their job, give it 100%, and gives it their all will do the same thing, or have pride in their work will do the same thing, whether they're getting paid $7 an hour, $10 an hour, or $50 an hour. But I'll be transparent. You will put a little bit of hey, my pleasure, when you're getting paid what you feel like you should be getting paid for the amount of work that you are doing. Maybe the issue why you're feeling burned out is the fact that you're getting paid $20 an hour and you're a whole registered nurse. Your girl is speaking from experience. When I first became a nurse, I was making $21 an hour. Granted, I was a new grad, but honey, that is not enough money for me to deal with the kind of stuff that I was dealing with. And after I switched, after I believe a year, and I went PRN, but still full-time hours, and I was making about $10 more an hour. You know what? I felt like I can do this. I can do this. This isn't that bad. So maybe that's the issue. Maybe if you go and work at another hospital, or take on a position where you're getting paid a few more dollars an hour, hence being a charge nurse, hence going on night shift, hence only working weekends, and seeing that couple of $100 extra on your check will make your job feel like it's a little bit worthwhile. So yeah, that's just another thing that you could look into. Look for a higher paying job. Look for something that will pay you for what you think you are worth. That is the end of my video. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you are still in Bedside and what is it about it that you like. Anything that you would like to contribute to the conversation of bedside nursing. We are a community, a whole community here. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of new grads that are watching this who may have mixed feelings about bedside nursing, and there may be experienced nurses that are here and they're just over bedside nursing and are just looking to see if there's anybody else that feels the same way that they feel. Do not feel guilty if you feel like you are over bedside nursing. We are all human. We are all imperfect. We have good days and bad days, and some days we are just overwhelmed. We do not have the easiest job in the world. But I feel like this is a very important conversation to have, and also this is just something that we can talk about, and it's a safe space. It's a safe space. I personally don't hate bedside nursing. I'm blessed that I'm a traveler, so I get to switch my specialty all the time and I don't get burned out, but there's a lot of people out there who may be burned out. So yeah, with that being said, that is the end of my video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you completed the video, please comment down below. Nurses Week. It is actually Nurses Week this week. It is actually Cinco de Mayo today. I'm filming on Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. Let's celebrate each other. And I will see you guys in my next video. Please do not forget, I feel like I said this like 3 times. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.